Hello, right, picture 10. Moved on a bit now, I'm getting to double figures. Right, so what I've done is I've moved away from Canal, and I've kind of like, you know, it's kind of going down the road now. So in your corner should be picture 10 now. So, me old street. Right, this is Chippingham Street. God, I love this street. Not much left of it, but I love it. What it is, if when I'm stood at the moment on the pavement, is kind of, I suppose, where the entrance to our ginnel, as we called it, used to be, which had turned into, which would go up into the yard of 4 houses, as I've explained. So I've kind of like estimated it, you know, to go down. So you know, I've got a bit of a view. So a lot changed, but it's still quite nice to see. I've still got quite a lot of memories with this. Seems shorter than it was, but I suppose it does when you're a kid. Street seems so long. Anyway, this is what I've written about this, about my street. So I'll read picture 10 and I'll drop bits in. So take a looking down our street from what would have been well, the entrance to our yard, as I've said. On the right hand side, the first gates led you into the firm's yard, which used to, you know, dump bits and pieces into the canal and waste where they were. So just before it would have been the actual part of the firm and building, which has been knocked down, as well as the houses, but the rest going down from there have been left. So anyway, so there was also a building just before this that shared the same yard. I remember it had green windows made of little squares of really thick green tinted glass, like the sort you would find above underground toilets. If you remember, in Sheffield, in the city centre, I think round about where the hole in the road was, and various other places, where they used to have like the toilets that used to have to go down underground. On the top, they used to have them like square bits of like really thick glass, and they always looked like a tinted green colour. You couldn't see through them, but they were just to let light in, and they were like little squares and like little rivets around it. I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but I remember seeing them in town. But well, the windows of this place were made up of the same stuff, and I think they were in like rows of 8 by 8, and they were made up of these little glasses, and then so on and so on, you know, until the building ended. Right, yeah, really thick glass, like, you know, like the sort you'd had in toilets, like I've mentioned, to let the light in. This yard here was always had the forklift, like I said, you know, that was waiting to be dumped into the canal. To the left is the entrance to what would have been Bodmin Street, I believe. It's now called, I think it's Britnall Street or Titterton Close, one of them. So on the left hand side, with the little entrance in, it used to be Bodmin Street, I believe. This is what I can remember as a kid. Further up from there used to be Francis Street, which when you walk down through, you know, down through this middle of our houses and you went onto the pavement, bang in front of you as you crossed over was Francis Street, because we used to walk that way, you know, to get round to the school. Right, where was I? Right, to the left is the entrance to what would have been Bodmin Street, now closed off and part of a firm's entrance when this street was... Sorry, but this is going back to 92 again. When this street was first flattened, we were still living there at the time. I always remember the road was occupied by gypsies. This is what I put. Not the nice old-fashioned ones, which told fortune and things and, you know, brought you lucky heather and all that lot. But the thieving lot that weren't wanted anyway. A couple of times they tried to steal our washing off the line, and then I think they'd come later and tried to sell us as clothes back and pegs. That's true. That I remember that. I remember my mum used to run out the house shout and get out, and they'd sneak up through the ginnel when it was quiet, take the washing or mainly the clothes pegs, and then I swear to God, 2 days later they'd be knocking on your door asking to sell you your same clothes pegs back. Because I remember my mum got some coloured ones, and I think they must have been from Banners. Which I'll come to later on, and she got them, she'd put the washing out, and then they disappeared off the line, or the bag had, and I remember them coming around, because I remember my mum shouting at them, "Oh, they're my pegs, you thieving so-and-sos," you know, and I don't know, I think they just got chased off or they ran away, but this used to happen regularly. They would also kind of... This is what I've also written as well. This is true. I remember seeing this as a kid. They would also come out of the caravan and take a dump by the road in broad daylight. This is true as well. They had no toilet facilities. The idea was, I don't, you know, if you've ever seen it, when they knocked and flattened all the houses over, what they did, instead of leaving it flat, they kind of cleared most of it, but then they dug a trench all the way around, down the road, and all the way around to the next road, and piled the sides up with bricks and wood and whatnot. So it was a bit like a mortar, like an old World War II trench. And the reason for this was so that the gypsies couldn't park the caravans on the land where the houses had been knocked down. That was the idea, so they couldn't sit and squat, because it'd be hard to get rid of them. But they just used to go one better, and either a few of them had actually pushed it all back in and flattened it and moved on to it, or they'd actually just park on the road, literally on the roadside, and dogs tied up and everywhere. But I remember seeing them, the kids coming outside, walking so far, not even over the bricks or whatever, lifting the skirts, taking a poo, and then going back in. No toilet roll, no. Can't believe it. And I remember going back in and telling my mum. My mum said, "Yes, I know it's dirty and disgusting, and don't catch you playing with him," as you do. But yeah, I mean, this picture I really like as well. It's a shame that other firm's not there on the right hand side, like I said, with the little green squares of glass, because I was fascinated by that, just because it used to run my finger around the little squares of the glass as well. Just I don't know why, just to feel it, because it was like it kind of ripples slightly, but you could never see through it. So. Yeah, that's really all I can say about that, apart from Francis Street, which I'll get onto later. I remember there was Francis Street, which was opposite us. Then I think there was Bodmin Street, and then Titterton Street, which was further down. I mean, now you've got Britnell Street, and I think it's Titterton Close that they've built now, because they built like a little housing estate. And obviously we're Francis Street, that's not there, because you've got Telewest there. So anyway, that was picture 10.